Welcome back once again. You've reached Pay Dirt. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, aka B Dirt, with your host, Pay Saunders. What's good, Pay?
B man, be back once and again. Another week to try to get this bread. Hey, we are at our backs against the wall, B. Christmas is coming up. I don't know how many nieces, nephews, and all the other ones you got, but all of mine are depending on me to hit this parlay, or nobody's getting anything.
Yeah, no, we're good, man. I'm looking at all my gifts right over here. I'm pretty sure none of my nieces and nephews watch this, so I'm safe to say, and you'll appreciate this, Pay. Jess and I have decided that we are going to be the shoe aunt and uncles because all the kids always comment about our shoes and how nice our shoes are. So we leaned into it, man. We buy them nice kicks now for Christmas. That's what we do.
You know what? I'm a fan of you guys. You guys are one of my favorite married couples now. The shoe aunt and uncle. Yes, I love that. I love that. I want to be like you guys when I grow up.
I even went out and got a. We got one particular nephew. Big fan of Legos. Loves Legos. I don't know if you know this or not, but they recently dropped a custom collab with Lego and Nike Dunks. I copped them for him.
Hey, that's crucial. Hey, you know what? Sidebar. My ex, she was really into Legos too, right? And I bought her one of them. She was really into a lot of nerd stuff. So she liked Legos. She liked Harry Potter.
Is that what you got against nerds? Your ex ruined it?
I would love to say yes, but no. She's a sweet girl. But I got her that one of those Lego sets, Harry Potter editions. I didn't know how much them things cost until I got to the cashier.
Ooh.
Man, I was like, "Whoa, this is a Christmas gift for the rest of our lives." Type of money. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll sneak up on you quick. You gotta watch out for those.
That thing was. People are making less. I spent more money on that Lego set than a lot of people spent on their MJ Gamma 11s, and I'm not talking about in the store. I'm talking about resale.
Oof.
That's how much the thing costs.
That's rough. Well, we got Tim and Afton over here rocking with us in the chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you for always checking in on us. Much appreciated. Saying hi to each other in there. Isn't that nice?
Oh, man. Christmas spirit. Don't you love it?
Tim hit him with that's his tagline. You'll be able to hear that about an hour and 10 minutes from now. What it do?
Can't wait. Run through the jungle. Everybody like, subscribe, share with a friend.
That's
Hit
right.
the notification bell so you never miss a drop.
Yeah, listen, just talking pro football over there. A lot to unpack with the Bengals, that's for sure. But we do have some college football, and we got some better games starting this week. Pay, you've been checking them out yet?
Ooh, no, I haven't, B. Tell me all about it.
Well, I think the game that I think is up for debate here is the Bama OU game. Is I think probably consensus closest game or hardest one to pick. I have flip-flop on this game already.
Wow.
I know.
So the line in this game, they're coming this Friday, which is why we got to move the homie show because it's a big game. The line on this, Alabama comes in as a 1.5 point dog. Total is 39.5. We've talked about both of these teams and their defense and their proclivity to not score touchdowns before, B.
Mm-hmm.
But you said you flip-flopped on this game twice. Why? Why does this game get you so undetermined? Yeah, go ahead.
Undecided.
Undecided, that's what I meant.
I really feel like, right, like if you say, hey, which one of these teams is most likely to score 28 points? I easily say Alabama without hesitation. And then you get some time off, right? And I think they needed it. Then we see Alabama's got their running back out doing drills and looking pretty good. I've seen some leaked footage there. So I think they're getting some pieces back. I think they needed to regroup. I think they actually would have probably benefited by not making the SEC championship and not playing that game, and having another week to get healthy. Mateer has, done enough to get things done, but hasn't looked himself. Now, is the thumb a little bit better with 3 more weeks? Does it mean he can push the ball down the field? This is where I start flip-flopping, right? I was on Oklahoma on Monday. I'm on Alabama on Wednesday.
By Friday, you're with the refs.
It's just probably, this is one of those ones where if I'm flip-flopping that much, probably should push away from the table, don't you think?
1.5 is scary. Alabama has been a little, especially the last 6 weeks of the season, they've been not as good as I think they should be. The peak of their season was when they beat Georgia. Well, I think that was in October. They've played a lot better than they have in the last 6 weeks. So you really ask yourself, who is the real Roll Tide? And in a playoff scenario, winner wins all, win or go home type scenario, you more so tend to lean into what you've put on tape the last few weeks. And the last few weeks, Alabama hasn't been good. Oklahoma, at least we know what they are. We know they're not a good offense. We know that they're a defense first team. If I was to go this, I would mostly lean in the way of Oklahoma to win outright, as they are the 1.5 point favorite anyway.
Yeah.
Total though.
What's that?
Where are you at with the total though? That 39.5 doesn't pique any curiosity out of you?
Nope. Not one bit. I do like the curiosity better on the next game for me.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Miami versus Texas A&M. Miami versus Texas A&M.
So Miami is a 3.5 point dog against Texas A&M. Texas A&M, ergo Texas A&M, they only have 1 loss on the season, correct? The total is 48.5 there, B. And you say you're leaning towards the U, huh?
I'm leaning towards the U. A, I love the hook. I'm a sucker for the hook. But B,
that's what she said.
The offensive and defensive lines here, I think, both favor Miami. I think the trenches is where they can win this game. I also, interesting fact, if you look at interceptions per pass attempt, you'd be surprised here, because it's with Reed. Is that the quarterback for Texas A&M?
Yes.
So he actually is more likely to throw an interception than Beck, even though Beck has that stigma of throwing interceptions in big games and whatnot. I think another year of maturity, and I think with the play calling style here for the Miami Hurricanes, they're going to run the ball effectively. I like Miami here to cover. I like them to win outright, to be honest with
you. Really? Okay. So
even on the road,
I do agree with you that Miami probably has the advantage on the defensive line. They probably have one of the best defensive lines in the nation. Texas A&M is a really good team, though. In fact, I think Texas A&M behind Indiana, they're probably the best team in the nation. Behind Indiana, make sure I give the Mendoza boys their respect. It's going to be hard for me to side with Miami in this there. But Miami, again, the same thing I said about Alabama just a few minutes ago. Who are you now versus who you were at the peak in your season? You will want to side with teams that are playing their peak ball right now. And I think Texas A&M is a little closer to that, for my money. But
I mean, Texas A&M was just down 30 points in the first half to South Carolina.
And they won that game.
And they won that game, but Miami went and beat a ranked at the time Pittsburgh team 38-7, 34-17 against Virginia Tech, 41-7 NC State, 38-10 at Syracuse. So if you're looking at the last 3 or 4 weeks, by your standards, Miami's throttling people. Texas A&M has been beat once and played with the food another time.
You know what? I think you've convinced me. I would go with you here. Miami with the points. Went out right. You would surprise me if you do that. Let's add them to the slip. Miami 3.5.
The only reason why I don't jump all over Miami on the money line is because they're at Texas A&M. If it was a neutral site, I think I would do it.
We've got 2 other games on Saturday for the college playoffs. There, B. Tulane is going to the Suttonly uncoached Ole Miss, and the last game of the night we've got James Madison at Oregon. Which one of these games is more interesting to you? Both heavy favorites for the home team.
I don't know why. Something just tells me to take Tulane at the points, but that's not the good bet for me. That's the weird suspicion, and that's not where you really want to put your money, right? But I like James Madison, Oregon, and I don't like the line. I'll tell you what I like. I like 47.5. That over
total. You like the total of 47.5. You don't like Oregon as a 21-point fave.
No, I think it's a good line. I'll put it at. I wouldn't be surprised if James Madison scores a late touchdown, maybe gets beat by 17. I wouldn't be surprised if they get beat by 28. You know what I mean? So it's kind of teetering there. It's too big of a number to teeter that far, right? Well, what I do like is I like over 47.5. James Madison last couple games scored 31. Troy's defense is pretty good. So I like that. They scored 59 against a pretty porous Coastal Carolina game. They scored 58. They scored 35, 52, 63 against Old Dominion, who's in another bowl. So I think here James Madison has the ability to put up points. I think it may be too little too late for them, but just adding a couple touchdowns, I think is going to push this one over 47.5.
I also like the over in this game. Even though this isn't one of Oregon's best offensive teams that they had in the, last 15, 20 years, I still think they can do enough to get close to that 40. And James Madison, I think if James Madison if they give you 17, I think this total is, I think that's a lock. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the slip as well. Nothing on Oregon. So you say you like Tulane with the points. I like Tulane with the points too, but you're not confident. I mean, Oregon.
It's not based on research. It's just based on a feeling here with Lane Kiffin moving on and a lot of moving parts out there.
That's where I was going with it too. Lane Kiffin, the Ole Miss kids, they've been through enough right now. I don't know enough about their offensive coordinator that's coaching them right now. Then I don't know enough about where their focus is for them to be able to, one, deal with all that, block out all that noise that Lane left them with, and win a win or go home game by 18 points. I don't know where I'm at with that with them.
But it's the same offensive coordinator that beat them by 30. These two teams played earlier in September, and Ole Miss won by 35. So that's what makes me kind of like,
But then it had that lane noise then, though.
Yeah, very true.
If I was to bet this game, I would go also Tulane points. I don't know if I put that on the parlay, though. It's sketchy.
Yeah, I'm good with leaving it all. Now, before everybody, starts thinking, oh, they went straight into college football without talking about what they did last week. I wanted to get the college football. It's kind of like, hair of the dog a little bit here. I wanted to get into college football because college football cost us our parlay last week. We only did 2 games and we lost them both. So we were 0-2 in college, 4-0 in the NFL for a 4-2 record. Our percentage is a little over 53% right now. So we got a few weeks here to get 5% back to get us where we want to be. So we need 6.
I'm trying to have a fun New Year's. So I need this money. I'm not messing around with these kids, B. These college kids, they've been killing me. All right, do we have anything else on the college football front? Any of them fake bowls? Like
I don't have anything else on college, but if you want to get some money, one way to do that is some paid advertising.
Oh yeah, that does help us out. So everyone, help me help you. Go ahead and listen to our advertisers. They've got something they want to go ahead and sell you. And if you haven't been Christmas shopping yet, I bet you they got something that you need to hear. Give you a good Christmas idea for you to go ahead and stock those stuffings. We'll be right back on the other side of this break, where we'll talk about some more football. And we're going to get into the NFL action. So we'll be right back. Take us to break. And we're back. B. So we were undefeated in NFL last week, and there were some games, there were some lines that I was really tight on, and I was like, man, we gotta take this off just to fit those kids, those servicemen into the parlay. Never again.
Yep.
Never again.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely cut some winners on the cutting room floor there. No bueno. That's NG, as the kids say.
NG, huh? I haven't heard that one. I'm still with the 6-7.
What all the kids say now, NG.
So we got a good game for Thursday Night Football. It was a good game on Amazon Prime last night with the NBA Cup, and they're following it up with the Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this is a not only are they division rivals, but if the playoffs started today, they would be seeing each other in they could possibly see each other in the divisional round of the playoffs. If, like I said, if the playoffs ended today and certain things played out, the Seahawks win their first game in the wild card round, they will be looking at the LA Rams in the divisional round. So this is a very big game for the Seahawks. They lost the first time they played earlier this season. It didn't live up to the billing. I think the total in that game was over 50. This time is 42.5. But it was a close game. I think the Seahawks had a chance to win that game on a last-second field goal that didn't work out for them. And the Rams ended up winning, I think, 21-19, if I'm not mistaken, on that final. But this time around, once again, the spread is 1.5, and this time it's favoring the Seattle Seahawks. B, are you rolling with the Seattle Seahawks, the home team in this game?
Oh, I am not. I'm rolling with the LA Rams. I think I think Mr. Stafford is on a little march of destiny here to get his MVP. I think he wins an MVP here. I think he gets in the Hall of Fame. And Sam Darnold started off the year, pretty hot. But if you take his 3-touchdown game 2 weeks ago against Atlanta out, he's thrown for 1 touchdown, 0 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, and 0 touchdowns in the other 5 out of 6 weeks. Including a 4 interception game against the Rams the last time they played. We saw it last year. I think Darnold got towards the end of the season and the chariot turned into a pumpkin. And I think we're seeing a little bit of him coming back down to earth again this season, late in the season. And, that Seattle running game I thought was going to be better than where it's at right now. I don't know if it's the two-headed monster with Walker and Charbonnet splitting carries, if it's taking too much away from them, not having a bell cow. But you look at the Rams right now, Kyron Williams, and now you're seeing an emergence of Blake Corum. Even though we saw, Devontae Adams get hurt last week, you still got Puka. You still got some good guys showing up at tight end. So I feel like they've got enough weapons there. I like the Rams here to cover.
Yeah, the one thing you said that I agree with a bullet, it is Sam Darnold in big games. So he didn't really show up a lot in big games last year with the Vikings, especially in that playoff game, especially any of the games against the Detroit Lions, right?
And if you look at what the Lions did, the Lions dropped weird zones and blitzed, and you could never tell who was rushing or not. Almost like similar to what the Vikings like to do with Brian Flores. Load the box, run 3 guys out. Load the box, bring everybody. And it really confused him. The Lions were doing that to him. And I think the Rams kind of picked up on that. And the Rams can get home. If they put 7, 8 in a box, they can drop half of them back and still get home with 4. Their defensive line's playing great.
Every time I need Darnold to step up this season and have a matinee game against a big opponent, I need JSN to do crazy numbers. It hasn't happened that way. Now, in other weeks, they're fantastic. Their offense is spectacular, right? But I just feel like LA, the Rams are a little bit more, in fact, not a little, a lot more dependable. Especially with these games meaning a hell of a lot as it relates to playoff seeding. The Rams win this game, they pretty much won the division. No disrespect to the San Francisco 49ers, but I would lean towards the Rams in this game. 1.5 is just good enough for me to take the points and not feel guilty about it. The total, 42.5. I think that's in response to their first matchup in which the game was under 40. Where are you at with that total?
I don't know. Tim, Lions, you still in the chat? Tell me what the weather's like in Seattle.
Rainy, probably. 89% chance of thunderstorms.
I'm not going to touch the over-under there. I really only bet over-unders if they stick out to me like, boop, sore thumb.
Any player props? JSN catches, Kenneth Walker total points, anytime touchdowns?
You're gonna make me spill the beans, aren't you?
No. Because
go ahead,
for one,
go ahead. Hit more bets. Hit more bets. I'll show.
Puka's catches and JSN catches have a success rate for me this season of like 8 out of 10, something like that. It's always their catching lines is always great. 5.
I did not bet it last week, but he was under catches and over in yards. He had 8 receptions. His over under was 9 last week.
Puka or
If
JSN?
you go up, Puka. Go up here. Go to keep going over. Go to game specials. There you go. All right, so go down here and hit view more when you get to the bottom of this scroll. Oh, up. Okay, you might have actually go up farther. There we go. I don't see it on this.
So we have half specials. Each team to score 1 touchdown in the first half and 1 field goal in the first half. There's another one that says each team to score 1 touchdown in each half and each team to score 1 field goal in each half.
That's the one I think is worth a flyer. I mean, if I was looking at, I had it earlier for $10 to win almost 1,300.
At the odds here for yes is plus 1,500. So it makes me curious that the no is minus 10,000. I'm curious about that, but yeah, okay. But
your number is not the same as the number I literally bet less than an hour ago.
Maybe there is some controversy going on here, but yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at this game. I do think both of these teams do have dynamic offenses. Both of them can do some scoring. JSN is still the league leader in reception yards, and we all know about Puka, Matt Stafford, Kyron Williams, and Blake Corum. Maybe no Devontae Williams. Devontae Adams. Sorry, I don't think he's going to play this game. But
no,
and neither offenses are a slouch. Now playing against each other might be a little hairy, but plus 1,500 for them both to score 1 touchdown in each half.
I got it at plus 12,000.
Wow. I'm gonna send you some money. I need you to put that in for me. I do like that. I'm gonna look at the receiving props one before we move off this game. So we have Puka at 9. Oh no, that's 90 yards. So they have Puka at 90 yards as minus 120. JSN at 90 yards is minus 114. Yes or no? Either one of these.
I think a rain game.
Mm-hmm.
I would, and you got Devontae Adams out. I would lean towards Puka. That's just
okay.
That's just my thoughts.
So I'm looking at the weather right here. It says it's going to rain 50 degrees. They have a ceiling though, or a roof rather, in Seattle, right?
No.
They don't? Well,
no, I don't think so. I think it's open.
What about the receptions here? It's the reception line for Puka is 8 minus 132. JSN 7 minus 112.
I keep getting burned on JSN, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say the success rate it's those big games for JSN. I mean, you can always bet it down, right? If you feel that 5 catches, this is a 5-catch game for JSN, go ahead and bet it down. If the 5 catch is minus 446, so however you feel, he's gonna get the ball. He's gonna get a lot of targets. He probably will lead the team this game in targets. So dealer's choice. I'm gonna leave him off our parlay though for right now. And I think we both agree that we like the Rams to win this game. Not win this game, but to cover the 1.5 point spread. So let's go ahead and put that on the parlay. Let's move on to this Saturday. We got 2 games in the NFL on Saturday. 2 big divisional games. Philadelphia Eagles are trying to get off the schneid and go ahead and win their division outright. They are facing their foe, the DC Commandos. And then the later game, we got the best rivalry in all of NFL. Arguably best rivalry. Packers are coming to Chicago. Packers are a 1.5 point dog right now. That line has made some movement today. And the Commanders are a 6.5 point dog at home. B, which game do you want to start with?
Man, I think we start right here at the top. Eagles at the Commies. Commies feeling good about a win finally last week. I don't think they're gonna be feeling good after the Eagles come to town. Lane Johnson is a difference maker on that offensive line. They got back to basics. They ran the ball with Saquon, and when they're able to do that, they're able to play action pass. And I think that's the best version of this Eagles team, is trying to hit some of those deep passes after a play action pass and run the ball. This is no longer should we see Saquon getting less than 16 carries again. Period. I think they cover 2 scores here on the Commanders.
When we was previewing the Eagles-Bears game, I pointed out to everybody the Eagles are a different team. You might even argue that they're a bad team when they don't have Lane Johnson. Him being back, it makes all the difference. One of the best left tackles in NFL history, at least in the last 20, 25 years. Saquon practiced this week, so he's trending that way for them to have their running game at tip-top shape, at least for Week 16 standards. The Commanders, for the other on their side, as far as injuries go, Jaden Daniels has been shut down. Marcus Mariota, he is going to take the reins again and try to defeat the Eagles, something he didn't do the last time he saw them. Not the Eagles, I'm sorry. He's going to try to beat the Eagles this game. I don't have much faith in what the Commanders got going on. I think the Commanders are punting the rest of the season, looking for a good draft pick. And the Eagles, as being defending Super Bowl champs, they know what they got to do. I would lean in the way of Philadelphia Eagles to handle their business, win this by 7. They should not struggle with the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, their defense has been terrible. Whoever's out there, they're giving up yards. The quarterbacks are having their best game of the season against that defense. Hello, J.J. McCarthy. So I am looking towards the Eagles to go ahead and make a statement win in this game.
Back-to-back statement wins.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of statement wins, the Bears are hosting the Packers. You don't get more of a statement win than a win in this rivalry. Caleb Williams has already beat the Packers one time in his career. Can he do it for the first time at Soldier Field is the question. Last hour, the Packers were a 1.5 point favorite. Now we're looking at it as the Bears is a 1.5 point favorite. The money's flowing in on this game, Pete. Where are you siding so far? And don't say the wrong answer.
I don't have this one on my picks.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a tough game. Gun to my head, I would lean Bears right now, just because I think the Packers lost 2 very important members of the team, and everybody's talking about Micah Parsons. Christian Watson, that offense looks completely different when he's out in the field. Now I know I think he looks as if he's avoided serious injury that might cost him the rest of the season, but I don't expect him to play here.
It's going to be balmy compared to what it was a week ago in Chicago. It was -20 for the Bears versus Browns game. It's going to be close to 50 degrees come Saturday. Kickoff will probably be close.
A little 70-degree turnaround. That's an increase of 10 degrees per day. I can figure that out. It's a 6-game turnover. It's even more.
We love math on this show. We're going to be putting meat on the grill come Saturday just because the weather is breaking. But you're also going to throw the Packers on the grill too. Frying them up. Bears win. let's move to Sunday, B. So, regular slate on Sunday. You say you didn't have the Bears, so I'm curious. What games could be so much better than the Bears versus Packers that you need to ignore the Bears altogether?
I like too many away teams. That's a problem.
Oh,
I'm gonna give you.
That's a red herring right there.
What's that?
That's a red herring right there, B.
Happens
Away
sometimes,
teams?
man. Happens sometimes.
It does.
I got the Vikings going to the Giants. Vikings are -3. And, I'm sure everybody's waiting for me to talk about my guy, JJ McCarthy, and how he's playing better and what he's done over the past 2 games. It's not what I'm going to talk to you about. I'm not going to tell you he had over 120 passer rating in the last 2 games. I'm not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk to you about is the New York Giants are giving up astronomical numbers on yards per carry. The Minnesota Vikings would rather run the ball than throw the ball a lot. And I think this is a game where Aaron Jones can get right because the Giants, the A-gap is an average defense. But when you get to that tackle box, man, they give up gashing runs. So I think this is an Aaron Jones special. I think the Vikings win because of the run game and because of that defense I mentioned earlier. That's going to confuse Jackson Dart a little bit. So I'm going to go Vikings here to win by more than 3. I like them by 10.
I also like the Vikings to go ahead and win this game. More so because the Giants are in contention for the number 1 draft pick. They're going to be shopping for a new coach. And the one selling point for a new coach is we have the number 1 draft pick for you to start off your era with. I don't think the Giants want to mess that up. They've messed up a lot of things since the days of LT and Eli Manning. But they can't mess this up. I like the Vikings. And because the Vikings, while also eliminated from the playoffs, while also going to have a favorable draft pick, more about their offseason is predicting what they're doing with JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy has put back-to-back good games up, as you mentioned, against defenses that leave a lot to be desired. The Giants' defense isn't good, but they can pressure the quarterback. This is a test. This is a test of McCarthy. I expect the Vikings to at least play up to their whatever you think their potential is this season. I expect them to play up to it. And I expect the Giants to more or less play dead as the game goes on. Give me the Vikings with you. Now we do have two of our last 3 games that we talked about concern teams that are eliminated and looking at playoff position, not playoff position, but draft pick position. Let me talk about another game. I got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. One thing that I like about this game is the Titans at +3.5. It's a brand new day in Kansas City. They haven't been out of the playoff picture for a long time. And they haven't been without Patrick Mahomes in never. I expect the Tennessee Titans, something they haven't done all season. I expect them to be the more prepared team coming out there on Sunday. Did I just say that? B. You're supposed to stop me as my co-host for saying crazy things right now. The room is spinning right now. I said the Titans are more prepared than the Kansas City Chiefs. And the reason why they're more prepared because they know who they are. They know they're terrible. They know their game plans. One of the worst game plans week to week. This is brand new territory for Kansas City. Titans are only 3-point dogs. Total is 37.5. I like Kansas. I mean, the last 2 weeks for Tony Pollard, he's finally woken up. Didn't wake up none while my fantasy teams were still alive, but He's awakened. He's running the ball like crazy right now. I like Kansas. I like Tennessee to keep this game close, maybe outright win. Convince me otherwise, B.
Minshew Magic.
Oof, that is a very good argument. Minshew Magic. I hate gambling against Minshew.
I don't know, man. These are. I don't even want to watch this game, let alone bet it. I don't know.
All right. I mean, that's good enough for me. I'm gonna add Tennessee to the slip. Let's go to a game that's more interesting to watch. Buffalo, Cleveland. We skip past this one, B.
Yep.
So the Buffalo Bills are a 10-point favorite going to see Cleveland, who just had their doors blown off and their bells rung in Chicago because they didn't want to play football. The total is 41.5. The spread, I'm confident in saying the Bills can cover that 10, but I'm more interested in that total. I like the game to be under 41.5, B.
Here you go, betting unders again. Hurts my soul.
Hey man, sometimes I'm looking for the something that's a little different sometimes. Something that'll pay.
So what do you think this game is? 27-7?
So I think the Browns have checked out. I watched that whole game against the Bears, and even though neither team had a distinct advantage playing in that weather because both teams are weather teams, Cleveland Browns did not show up to play. They had flags on 3 of their 4 plays. Shador Sanders is out there with the wrong play sheet. They didn't want to hit. The Browns have mentally checked out. They are already in Cancun. They're already, getting their IG models lined up for their offseason. They have no compunction to play football anymore. And it showed in the scoreboard. The Bears won 31-3. I don't think Shador Sanders is a very good quarterback at this point. And on the flip side, Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, the seas have parted for you. That the roadmap to the AFC crown is right there. Josh Allen sees it. Josh Allen is got to be primed to take over. And that also extends to the rest of the Bills team. Cleveland, I don't think they can score 7 points on this squad. And this is not a very good Buffalo Bills defense. I don't think Cleveland can score 7 points. I don't think they want to score 7 points. I think they want to get this game over with. I think this game ends 33-6.
Oof. All right. Roll it on there.
What happened to my... Anyway, come back here. All right, let's
Refresh.
do that. I don't know why I did that. But in any case, I'm going to take the Bills and the under. How about that, B? We already know how that's going to go. But any more games for the NFL?
So the Bengals Dolphins here, I'm interested in what you think about it. I normally don't bet on my team very often. I normally a lot of times I'll get into player props and stuff in the game. But I'm interested here. You got the Bengals are -3.5 at the Dolphins. Dolphins are starting Quinn Ewers. So you have a dejected Joe Burrow going against Quinn Ewers. I mean, can Joe get his groove back? That's what I want to know. Is this a game where he can do that?
Can he get his joy back is what you're asking.
Groove, joy, feel good, whatever you want to call it, man.
I think the most interesting thing about this game isn't what's happening in Cincinnati and the joyless quarterback you have. I think it's the quarterback who's going to be starting for Miami. Yeah, Quinn Ewers out there taking snaps now. And if I'm I listened to the Level Up podcast enough. I listened to you enough. You all told me Quinn Ewers was dog meat. You all told me he was kibble. I didn't want to believe it until I saw it with my own eyes. If he was roadkill in college, roadkill in the SEC, what is he in the NFL?
Check
Is
down
Nerd Boy. They like check downs in Nerd Boy's offense too, don't they?
Yep.
Oh, whenever they can get the ball to their speedy receivers, which Tua did not do enough. B, this game comes down to, can the Bengals defense contain Devon A-Chain?
I'm glad you said that, because when I talk about player props, A-Chain's over here is 90 yards. I have an inkling just to bet one unit on 90, 100, 110, 120, all the way up to 150, which is plus 1140. I just might run it the whole way up, see where he lands, because I think he goes north of 90. But if I can land somewhere in the middle or more, I'm gonna make out.
Same game parlay, writing that down. All right. I like that. So it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like you're waffling there, B, because you felt that this is a strong game for Cincinnati to get their bounce back. But if they can't contain,
I was reaching out there to see what your thoughts were, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't think, well, I don't think Cincinnati will have the same coach next year. And in today's news about Miami's benching Tua and starting Quinn Ewers, that kind of leads me to believe that Mike McDaniel's job is safe. And we didn't think that. We did not think that coming into the season. With that said, I would expect the Miami Dolphins to have a little bit more punch come Sunday than the Cincinnati Bengals, which is a weird thing to say as well. So if I were you, I would probably push away from the table as far as picking the games, straight up, or picking the lines, because I think this game might be one of those confusing games that annoys the hell out of you, especially if you're a Bengals fan. So I'm gonna leave this one. Out there because it's.
Yeah, I'm in a weird situation here where I'm kind of rooting against my team. I was not totally upset about this past week. You can catch some more about that in about 20 minutes. 25.
Where can I catch more of that at? Running through the jungle?
Running through the jungle.
All right. So we've got a few more games for the week. We got the Jets at the Saints. We've got Jacksonville at Denver. Atlanta's going to Arizona. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. The battle of the 8-6 teams. And you got the Raiders at the Texans, Patriots at Ravens, and the Monday night game, Frisco Niners at the Indianapolis Old Senior Home Rivers Colts. Any of these games jump off to you? Which ones are you like, man, I got some action on that game?
The Monday night.
So, B, before we get into this one, I know a lot of people that cashed one Seattle 13.5 because of Phillip Rivers. The over on the interception, the overs. Everybody had a lot of money on that game. But Indianapolis and Rivers, they broke a lot of hearts. Are you going to double back betting against the Colts here?
1,000%, yes.
There you go.
So I didn't bet on that game. I wanted to see a game before I bet. But I'll tell you what I did, and I'm in a fantasy football league that I think you're gonna want to hear about. It's not conventional. There's no winner for this fantasy football team. All we do is draft at the beginning of the year. It's a larger roster than normal, and It's a best ball league, so you just let it play out the rest of the time. And the only thing we're concerned about is who finishes dead last in points. Whoever has the least amount of points that week pays for our parlay that week. And each person in the league picks one line on Saturday for Sunday's games, Sunday or Monday. And we run all those lines together. Good friend of mine that does the league picked Rivers plus 160. And I said, you talk about old man Rivers and yards? Like, what are we doing here? Can't do that. And he did not. He had 120. So he had 120 yards. He can't throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field. That I think that San Francisco defense started playing better over the past few weeks. Is going to be licking their chops. I think San Francisco covers that -6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to keep betting against the Colts as long as they're throwing out geriatric quarterbacks. I'm going to keep betting on them. I have no idea why this was even an option for them to go get Phillip Rivers. I've heard some thoughts on why, because he's got all these kids and he needs the medical insurance. Whatever the case may be.
Pretty funny.
That is very interesting take from I forget. I'm blanking on the quarterback's name now. Who said that? I want to say Chad Petty. Was it? No, it was it Heine? I forgot who came up with it. But as long as Phillip Rivers is the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, I'm fading them. He's giving me San Francisco 49ers 6.5.
They were 8-2 when I bet under 11.5 games won. And they lost 4 straight, and I cashed that bet last week.
That is called a heady play, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got some other big games. Are you interested in Patriots Ravens?
I'm interested in watching it.
All right.
The line
tells you all you need to know about it. Yeah, 3 this is a must win for the Ravens. I'm going to leave them alone because I don't like.
Ravens been playing pretty bad, and they're 3-point favorite.
They're all of their must win games this season. I feel like they've kicked the dog. I'm gonna leave the Ravens alone, and I'm going to go to the 8-6 bowl. Loser of this game, not so much the Steelers, but the Detroit Lions, who are hosting the Steelers. They're a 7-point favorite. The total is 51.5. If they lose this game, they can pretty much kiss the baby goodbye. Not the same thing for the Steelers, who are also 8-6 because they're leading their division. So if they lose, it really depends on what the Ravens do later on in the night. 7-point fave for the Lions, though. Are we there with them yet? Are we liking them that much to be? Even though we know the Steelers, they are agnostic to scoring points. Their defense has been sketchy a lot this season. But do we expect the Lions to win by 7 points?
I like buying this down to 6.5 and running with it.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers are okay. So Detroit has had some issues in their secondary, where it's hurt them because they're super aggressive. So it's hurt them in deep passing. But we haven't seen the Steelers consistently push the ball downfield. I think the Steelers' O-line has played better than last year, but still not there. And Rodgers definitely doesn't want to get hit. And that defensive line can put some pressure with, both in the middle and on the edge. So I don't know that the Steelers are built to take advantage for the Detroit Lions' shortcomings right now as the season sits. So I know the Detroit Lions, the Steelers have been pretty bad on rush defense, and the Detroit Lions are built for that. I see big games. I'm probably going to really look into Jahmyr Gibbs rushing totals here because they're playing on turf at home. And I like the Lions. Like I said, buy it down to 6.5.
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs killed a lot of people's fantasy teams last week. He did not have that type of performance that people were depending on to carry them into the next round. However, I do like Jameer Gibbs this week, as I'm gonna follow you right into that. His line is 80. His combined rushing receiving yards is at 120. So I would do that same thing you said about that same advice you had about Devon Achane in his game against the Bengals. I'm going to take his rushing props from 70 all the way to 110 and just see what happens.
I dig it.
All right, so far, B, we've got 11 games on our slip, man. Do we like anything else from the NFL, or are we ready to call this?
That's all I got right now, man.
All right, so let's go on slide on over here to our slip. So we've got 11 so far. We've got Miami. We got the University of Miami plus 3.5. We've got Oregon and James Madison over 47.5. Coming to the pros, Rams plus 1.5. Philadelphia Eagles 6.5. The Bears are covering their 1.5. The Vikings are covering their 3. The Titans are covering the 3 against the defending AFC champions. Yet the Bills, their line is actually moved up to 10.5. And we have the under on the Buffalo Bills and Cleveland Browns already. We can already know where that's going to go on this parlay. The San Francisco 49ers are minus 6.5, and Detroit Lions are also 6.5. So the rules for this is when we're building our 6-leg parlay, we take off same game parlays. So that means the Bills and Browns are immediately eliminated. That brings us down to 9. B, where should we start?
If the Titans aren't getting close to 2 touchdowns, I'm out on them. on principle.
On principle. You know what? That's not a bad principle, man. You know what? I'm not going to even argue too much. I'm not going to argue. I like that as a sneaky play, but we're trying to mitigate risk here with this parlay. We got to buy Christmas gifts, so let's not be too fancy.
All right, so that one stuck out in my head. So let's go back up and look at this college games here.
Mm-hmm. Now, B, remember how college did us last week? They did us dirty. Yes, I know. Now go on.
So we got Miami plus 3.5. We got Tulane over 47.5 against Oregon. What else we got? Anything else?
Just those 2 college games.
All right. So I really like the Rams. I like the Eagles. What else we got in here? I don't mind the Bears. So out of the pro games, highest risk. Well, lowest reward will be the Lions blind down that line. So let's get rid of the Lions.
Lions getting off the board. So now we got to get rid of one more, and then we have our slip, man.
So I would say, let's look at what do you think is the riskiest of the NFL games on the slip, and let's compare it to that Miami Texas A&M game. Because the risk in the Miami Texas A&M game is really that they're playing at Texas A&M.
You read my mind. I felt that was the most riskiest thing left on this slip. But if we're going to compare the two, I would compare that to the Bears game, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a rivalry game. The line is only 1.5. It can go either way. Both teams are dealing with a lot of injuries. Both teams got their emotions on high. Shit can happen.
All right, so go back up to that Miami game. All right, Miami's minus 115. The Bears are plus 102. I'm good with either way, so I'm going to take the one with the biggest juice.
That means Miami got to go.
That's it.
All right, so our 6-leg parlay is as such. We got the over 47.5 from James Madison in Oregon. The LA Rams covering the 1.5 against the Seattle Seahawks. The Philadelphia Eagles are beating the hell out of the Commanders, covering their 6.5. The Bears handling business at home against the Packers, minus 1.5. Vikings, minus 3.5. And the San Francisco 49ers, minus 6.5. That gives you a total slip odds of 5,278. I love that.
Those are good odds. What was that last one? After the Vikings?
We got the Niners covering 6.5.
All right. Let's go 6-0. How about it? We haven't hit one yet this year. It'd be nice to get one on the way out.
We hit 6-0 twice last season, didn't we?
We did, yes. We sure did. What up, Quad Father?
We are due. Quad, man, where you been, man? What's up?
James Madison's about ready to get BTA. I'm cool with that. They can lose like 42-14. I'm happy with that.
Sounds good to me. We are due to hit for one of these slips. B. What do you got coming up on a run to the jungle? You are talking about.
Good question. While we're sitting here, I don't know if you've noticed me looking down and kind of reading some text messages. I got a text message from Justin Lacey asking if we could do the show tomorrow. So I don't know. Waiting to hear a response. So yeah.
I vote no. Get it out now. No,
just it. You know, I mean, I feel like Tim and I can go over there and just cry in our milk. It is what it is.
I mean, that means you have one thing in common with Joe Burrow. Yep.
I'm not as dejected as, I don't know if you can tell, I'm not as dejected as some of the rest of the fan base is. Yeah, you got to go over there and check it out with us. Check it out. You know, to me, the enemy of greatness is mediocrity. And that's going to be a little bit of the theme.
Very quiet, very prophetic there. I like it. All right. At First Order Chicago, you know what it is. We got to preview that Bears versus Packers game where the Bears going to slaughter them dudes. But as always, you can catch us next Thursday while we once again try to hit pay dirt. Thanks for watching, everyone.